We are on Daf Kavchet Amud Aleph at the bold words Tana Eduyot Bo Bayom Nishnit. Okay, so the Braita says Tana, right? We learned in a Braita Eduyot Bo Bayom Nishnit. Eduyot was taught on that day. Of course, Eduyot is Mesechet Eduyot. V'kol heicha de amrinan, and anywhere where we say bo bayom on that day, hahu yom haba. It was that day that Rabbi Lazar ben Azariah became the Nasi, and he got rid of the Shomer HaPetach. V'lo haita halacha shaita tluya bebeit midrash shelo pirshua, and there was not a halacha that was left suspended in the Beit Midrash that was not explained. And even Rabban Gamliel did not prevent himself, hold himself back from the Beit HaMidrash, even for one moment. The Tanan, I was learned in the Mishnah, Bo Bayom, on that day, Ba Yehuda Ger Amoni, Yehuda, who is a convert from Ammon. He came, Lifnei Beit HaMidrash. He came into the Beit HaMidrash. Amar lehem, he said to them, Ma'ani lavo b'kahal, can I marry a Jewish woman, right? Like what's with me? Am I allowed lavo b'kahal, to come into the nation? The nation, obviously, is kahal Hashem, and that means through marrying a Jewish woman. He wanted to know, is he allowed to marry a Jewish woman? Amar le Rabban Gamliel said, Asur ata lavo b'kahal, you are not allowed to marry a Jewish woman. Amar le Rabbi Yoshua, mutar ata lavo b'kahal. Rabbi Yoshua said, you are allowed to marry a Jewish woman. Amar le Rabban Gamliel said to Rabbi Yoshua, v'halo kvar ne'emar, doesn't it already say in the Torah, in Sefer Devarim, Lo yavi Amoni umoavi b'kahal Hashem, and Amoni and a Moavi are not permitted to marry into kahal Hashem. They're not allowed to marry a Jewish woman. So this guy is an Amoni. He shouldn't be allowed to marry a Jewish woman. Amalei Rabbi Yeshua said to Rabban Gamliel, V'chi Amon uMoav b'mkoman hem yoshvim. Are Ammon and Moab still living in their countries? Kvar ala Sancherev melech Ashur ubilbel et kol ha'umot. Sancherev already came up, and the king of Ashur, and he mixed up all the nations. Shene'emar va'aseh gevulot amim ve'atidotehem shivasti va'orid ka'abir yoshvim. It says that it talks about when the Navi Yeshaya talks about Sancherev there says that I removed the gevulot of the amim. I removed the boundaries of the nations. Meaning to say, I switch them, I transfer them from place to place. But called the parish meruba parish. And anybody and anything that separates itself from the majority has separated itself. And as we explained, that if the majority of the people are from Ammon, right? If the people that live in Ammon are still people that are Ammonim, then we assume, hey, this guy comes from the land of Ammon. Most of the people in Ammon are still Ammonim. This guy must be an Ammoni. But here, Sancherev went and he switched everyone around. He's transferred them from place to place. So it must be that since the majority of the world has been displaced, so therefore this is also not a non-Ammoni. Fine. So Rabban Gamliel's first reason for not taking this ger has been deflected. He said it's because he is an Ammoni. And Rabbi Yeshua proved, yeah, but even though he comes from the land of Ammon, doesn't mean he's an Ammoni. Proof number 2. Amar lo Rabban Gamliel said, V'lo kvar ne'emar, doesn't it already say in Sefer Yirmiyahu, V'acharei ken ashiv et shvut b'nei Amon u'mashem ukvar shavu. The pasuk says that after this, I will return the captives, the prisoners of Ammon. So says Hashem. Ukvar shavu, and they already returned. You see, so this guy must be a true Ammoni. Amar lo Rabbi Yeshua. Rabbi Yeshua says, "V'halo kvar ne'emar." Doesn't the pasuk say in Sefer Amos, "V'shavti et shavut ami Yisrael"? The pasuk says, "I'll return my nation Am Yisrael." V'adayin lo shavu. But Am Yisrael, you see, are not back on the land. So what makes you think that Ammon is back on the land? Miyad hitiruhu lavo b'kahal. Immediately, they allowed this guy to come into the nation. Amar Rabban Gamliel, ho'il v'hachi hava. Since this is the case, since I see Rabbi Yeshua is so well respected, Ezil v'afai say the Rabbi Yeshua, I'm going to go and I'm going to appease, I'm going to apologize to Rabbi Yeshua. Kimata levete. When Rabbi Gamliel got to Rabbi Yeshua's house, Chazinhu, he saw Lashita de Beite de Meshachran. He saw the walls of Rabbi Yeshua's house were black. Amrle, so Rabbi Gamliel said to Rabbi Yeshua, Mikot lebeitecha, from the walls of your house, Atani kashepacha mi'ata, it looks like you are a blacksmith. Amrle, Oilo lador shata parnaso, woe is to the nation. Right, Rabbi Yeshua says to Rabbi Gamliel, woe is to the nation that you are its leader. That you do not know the pain, the struggles of the Talmidei Chachamim. B'mahim mitparnasim uvamahim nizonim. How they make their money and how they eat. Right, nizonim lashon mazon. Amar lo. So Rabban Gamliel heard this, and he said, "Ne'eneti lecha." You know what? I'm wrong. I've overspoken. I crossed the limit. I'm sorry. Macholi, forgive me. Lo ashkach be. Rabbi Yeshua did not listen to him. Asabi shvil kvod Abbas. Rabbi Gamliel said, "Okay, if you won't do it for me, do it for my father's kavod. Do it for my father, Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel." P.S. He accepted it and he forgave him. Amru. So they said, okay, now that we're back in good terms, man nezel. Who's going to go v'lei melula rabbanan and tell the rabbis in the Beit Midrash that it's all good now? Amar lehu ha'ukovis. So that a certain launderer said, Ana azilna, I will go. Shalach lu Rabbi Yeshua. Rabbi Yeshua sent the Beit Midrashah to the Beit Midrash. Right? He sent the following message. Man de lavish mada shalach lehu Rabbi Yeshua lebeit midrasha. So Rabbi Yeshua sent the following message to the Beit Midrash. Man de lavish mada, the one that wore the cloak, yilbash mada, he should continue wearing the cloak. Meaning the cloak is showing like I'm a nasi. It's chashuv, right? So the one that was the nasi should be the nasi. Uman de lo lavish mada, and the one that doesn't normally wear the cloak, meaning Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, yamer leila man de lavish mada, he should say to the one that was wearing the cloak, meaning the one who's currently the nasi, that is normally the nasi. Basically, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah should tell Rabban Gamliel, Shalach madcha va'ana alvisha. Right? So he says, let me wear the cloak. Basically saying that Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah should give back the nisiut to Rabban Gamliel. Amar lehu Rabbi Akiva l'Rabbanan. Rabbi Akiva said to the rabbis, Troku. So Rabbi Akiva said to the rabbis, Troku gale de lo letu avded Rabban Gamliel u'litza'aru l'Rabbanan. Quickly close the doors, that the servants of Rabban Gamliel should not come and cause the rabbis pain, meaning shouldn't bother the rabbis from the learning. So apparently the Koves came back and he told the Rabbi Yeshua and Rabban Gamliel, they didn't even let me in. Amar Rabbi Yoshua, mutav de'ekum, it's better that I should get up, ve'ezil ana legabayu, and I'm going to go to them. Ata Rabbi Yoshua came, taraf ababa, he knocked on the door of the Beit Midrash. Amar lehu, so Rabbi Yoshua said to them, Maze yazeh, the sprinkler, the son of the sprinkler, should continue sprinkling. Which means Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, who is a Kohen, the son of a Kohen, he should continue to be the Kohen. V'she'eino lo mazeh v'lo ben mazeh, the person that doesn't normally sprinkle, meaning Rabban Gamliel, ye'ameh lemazeh ben mazeh, should say to the Kohen, me'macha me'ma'areh v'afracha efer mikleh, your water is cave water, and your ashes are efer mikleh, are ashes of the stove. Basically saying, again, you go back to being the Kohen, I'll go back to be the Nasi, let's just go back to what it was. Amar le Rabbi Akiva. So Rabbi Akiva said to Rabbi Yoshua, he said, Rabbi Yoshua, nitpayas, have you forgiven? Klum asinu, we haven't done anything, ela b'shva kvodcha, only for your kavod. Lamachar, tomorrow, ani v'ata nashkim lepitcho, tomorrow we'll go to his house. Amri, so they said, Hechi na'avid, so what should we do? Na'avre, should we get rid of him? Should we get rid of Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah? Gemiri, we have a tradition from Moshe Rabbeinu. Ma'alim b'kodesh ve'moridin. You could always go up in Kedusha, but you cannot go down in Kedusha. So that's not it. We can't just get rid of him. So nidrosh mar chada shabbata umar chada shabbata. Maybe one master should teach one week, and the other one the next week. They say no, not good. It's going to come to jealousy. Ela lidrosh Rabban Gamliel talata shabbatei. Rabban Gamliel should be the nasi for 3 weeks. For Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah chada shabbata, and he'll be for 1 week. V'hainu da amar mar, and this is what the master says. Shabbat shel mi hayta, shel Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah hayta. Right? Whose week is it? Meaning, you went to the Beit Midrash and heard the Nasi speak. Well, whose week was it? Was it Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah? Meaning to say, sometimes it was Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, and sometimes Rabban Gamliel. 3 weeks a month is Rabban Gamliel. 1 week a month is Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. V'oto talmid, and that student was Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai Hava. That student was Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai that asked the question all the way back on Chav Zayin Amud Bet when he asked Rabbi Gamliel and Rabbi Yoshua, is Tfilat Aravit Rishut?